13 home-based business tax deductions that you might be missing out on, that you might be leaving on the table, that might bring you in multiple thousands of dollars in cash flow back into your household, back into your business, just by understanding them and tracking them. What up, you got Mr. Smith, 0.5 of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and in this brief video I want to talk about 13 home-based business tax deductions that you may be leaving on the table. And if you're not, I guarantee you somebody in your circle or somebody that you may consider to be a business partner or a business colleague definitely may be leaving this on the table. And it's all about understanding and exposure. Once you're exposed to it, then you know that you need to dive in a little bit deeper. Now, I'm not a tax specialist or professional or EA, enrolled agent, basically any of those things. I do benefit from using the tax law to my advantage by partnering with those who are trained in those areas, so that way I could just share some information that you want to look into for yourself so you can benefit from it. Now, when it comes to tax deductions, it's all about record keeping, because you can only claim what you can prove. In other words, you can say you did this or spent money on that, but can you prove it? And proof comes from tracking. Tracking comes from having the types of software that allow you to take pictures of receipts, because we're not in a day and age of turning in all your receipts to your tax pro. We're in a day and age to where you track it yourself. And a lot of times people just say, I let my accountant handle it. Well, that couldn't be further from what you need to do. Why? It's like health. So it baffles me, and I'm gonna get into it. So stick around all the way to the end. I got, some goodies to share for you. Now, it baffles me when people say, I'm gonna just let my accountant handle it. And to me, that's just like saying, I'm gonna let my doctor heal me. I'm gonna go to my doctor and let him heal me. This is what you gotta understand. As it relates to your health, it's you walking around with that body every day, day in, day out. Your doctor don't know what type of stuff you doing, what type of stuff you eating, what type of stuff you chewing. Your doctor don't know what kind of stuff you doing or chewing. So if that's the case, then you're asking them to fix a symptom that you're experiencing. You're like, hey, I'm experiencing this. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand asking a specialist once you're doing certain things, or once you're experiencing certain things. So I'm not to say that, but you need to be educated in your own body and things that you put in and how your body responds to it, so you can make the necessary adjustments, because you're living with that equipment. So for you to rely that or leave that up to your doctor to fix, and all you're giving them is the symptoms and things you may feel contribute, might be more detrimental than anything. So you got to understand that you control the day-to-day. So if you can see what's causing what and study and understand the body and anatomy and the chemistry that goes into food entering our body and digestive system, the whole 9 yards, now you're more equipped to not need them. But if you got to call and ask certain questions, you can. That's that. Same is true for the accountant. You're the one that's operating that business, spending the money on certain things. You know if certain things are contributing to your business or not. So that being said, if they're not with you while you're making every swipe, how can they possibly tell you what you can write off in terms of your tax deductions? So you need to be tracking those things, saving all of those receipts and deductions. I know you got systems and swipes and a business account, and everything that goes out of your business account is a tax deduction. That does make things seamless and smooth, but sometimes you're spending money on things that you didn't know were tax deductible, that had you not kept the records, your accountant wouldn't have known to claim it. So you definitely got to take some responsibility in that area. I'm gonna get 13 right now. Stick around to the end and let me know if it was one that you didn't know about. Now, of course, there are hundreds, so there's no way I'm going to leave or give you everything. There are hundreds of tax deductions. By hundreds, I mean over 400 tax deductions that you can possibly qualify as a home-based business owner. So many home-based business owners leave money on the table because they're too busy chasing a profit and missing out on profit protection that comes from tax deductions. So number one are your monthly fees. You see, a lot of times people are in some type of business. This is network marketing. This is some type of retail business. This is drop shipping. You're paying into a system that has some type of monthly fees. For us, we got a lot of overhead, or a decent amount. I ain't gonna say a lot. Nowhere near a lot, but we got a decent amount of overhead from running a credit restoration company. But at the same time, we're in network marketing, and we are part of a personal financial success company known as MyEcon. So those MyEcon fees that give us the membership, which gives us the tools to understand tax deductions and keep track of records and things of that nature, is a tax deductible expense. You may have some fees that help you operate your business. You may have multiple fees that help you operate your expenses. The question is, are you writing them off? Because now, what you'll find is you'll be like, man, you know, I am paying a decent amount of fees, but the beauty of it is I get to write these off at the end of the year. It's a couple of merchant account fees that I don't care for, because I'm like, what are y'all even doing? It don't even make sense to me to be paying these merchant account fees. But you better believe every dime that they bill me or they charge me, I'm writing it off. That's how I look at it. Like, okay, you know, every $100 that I pay or $80 that I pay or 60, whatever the amount is that I pay is going to be a tax deduction because it's going into my business. So what fees are you paying? Think about all of it. Also, in terms of fees, and this is a bonus. I'm just throwing this in here because it's something that I currently deal with. Outside of the fees you might be paying, sometimes it might be transaction fees that go with the transferring of the money and the transaction taking place. Take all of that into account because it ate away at your price point. If you're charging $200 for something, but by the time it went through those fees, you're left with $175, then that's $25 in fees and things that, you know, ate into your profit, ate into your money. Tax write-off. So understand that and track it and then run it by your tax specialist. Number 2, bank fees. It's certain bank fees that you can start to get to be tax deductible. That could be ATM fees. That can be certain fees that you might pay if you're getting a money order. And, you know, I know banking is changing. We're going a lot of digital. FinTech is creeping in or is here. And basically, you got to understand that things are changing, but it's certain fees that are being charged cash out. You know, if you're using cash out, certain fees that are being charged that are tax deductible. Make that note. Number 3. Tax preparation fees. A lot of people miss this. You don't spend all of this time trying to minimize your taxes and track your receipts and expenses and see what income category you fall in, tax bracket you fall in, and not be able to write off the tax preparation fees that go along with you getting your taxes filed. That's a part of your business. You doing business, tax professionals are, you know, a legal person that you hire. So you write off those tax prep fees. A lot of people didn't know that. Number 4, this is something that many people know, supplies. If you're spending money on supplies, and a lot of home-based businesses are spending money on supplies, I don't care if it's envelopes, I don't care if it's labels, I don't care if it's stamps, I don't care if it's printer ink, I don't care if it's the laptop itself, well, it wouldn't be supplies, or if it's the item that you're selling. Like say you buy physical products, tangible items, and you're buying it to ship out, those are supplies. You want to be tracking that because that helps lower your tax liability, puts more cash flow back into your pocket. Number 5, business education, seminar, and training. And this is a powerful one because it's a lot of people who always want something for free. In other words, they want to get the game from somebody without paying them for the game. They want to learn how to do something without paying for it. Well, what you got to know is when you pay for the education, yeah, you get to take the information, apply it, grow from it, make money from it, enhance your business. But it's also a tax deduction because that training went into you bettering your business, furthering your career, putting something else into your business that wasn't currently being used. I don't care if that person charged $100 or $10,000. Tax deduction. Now, this is what you got to make sure you understand. It's either A, you pay these taxes to the government by not lowering your taxes, not lowering your tax liability, or B, you reinvest it in your business or into your training. Which one do you choose? I would much rather pay a lot of money for training than to pay a high tax bill. So why not take advantage of the training that you could purchase, seminars, webinars, whatever the case may be, because it is tax deductible as long as it's in conjunction with your business. That being said, number 6, retirement investments. So on this list, I have IRAs, simple IRAs, SEPs, 401ks will fall into that category as well because it's tax deferred. Basically, you can write it out because basically it's already been, it's tax deferred. I'll just say that. I don't want to get into the technicals and throw anybody out. But most of the time, if you're paying $3,000 into any of these accounts that are tax deferred, you get to write that off at the end of the year to offset your income in addition to the other things that we listed. So many people didn't know that. Now you know. Share this with somebody who you feel may benefit. Hit that thumb. Follow if you have not already. Hit that bell if you have not already. And definitely take advantage of the freebies that we got down below. Now, number 7. Smartphone services. All right, we live in an era where everybody's using a smartphone. You can't tell me your phone doesn't come in handy with you having a home-based business. I mean, it's no way around it. You're going to use your phone for something. Your phone is your camera. Your phone is your marketing machine. You can automate using your phone. You create content like, like memes and things of that nature. You have phone business conversations. You're emailing. I mean, the list goes on and on. So definitely smartphone services, apps that may be beneficial to your business, even the book ones. Just to throw that in there. All right, number 8, internet access. That goes without having to elaborate on. Internet access, you need it just like you need the phone. Printing, that's number 9, printing. So if you're printing anything, and we do a lot of printing here, the ink, the depreciation of the, the paper, the labels, the stamps. I know that's not all printing, but you get the point. If it's tied into your business, or if you're just printing out certain things, worksheets or whatever the case may be that you have to use for whatever you do in business, shipping labels, then you should be writing that out. And I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself because shipping, I believe, is on here as well. Oh, no, it's not. So perfect. We're good. Webinar fees. So if you host webinars yourself and you're paying into something like a Zoom, Webinar Jam, whatever the case may be, tax deduction because you're using it to grow your business. Number 11, business mailbox fees. So if you have a P.O. box or some other, I forget what it's called, alternate address. It's another word for it, but if it's an alternate address, you're paying for that. Tax deduction. Number 12, legal fees. That kind of ties into what I was saying about the tax preparation, but this is legal fees pertaining to things that you might have to pay for or hire people out to help you make sure your business is operating a certain way, structured a certain way. So any legal fees, consider looking into them and seeing if it's something that you can deduct. And last but not least, and I love this one because this is 100% tax deductible. Some things may not be 100%, but many of the things that I listed on here are definitely 100%. But this one definitely is, and it's advertising. If you spending money on marketing, then guess what? That's tax deductible. So you're incentivized to grow your business. You're incentivized to market your business. It gets no better than that. You get incentivized to grow your business, build your wealth, create more cash flow, become more profitable. So understand those 13 tax deductions that come along with having a home-based business. If you don't already have a home-based business, we got one down below that you can strongly consider, or a couple that you can, strongly consider, that's all tied into the space of personal finances that you can strongly consider. So that way you can take full advantage of not just being in business for the sake of having no salary cap, but also benefit from lowering your tax liability, keeping more of your hard-earned dollar in your pocket. That's all I got. Hopefully that helps you, serves you well. Share this with somebody you feel may benefit. Mr. Smith, signing out.